One of the easiest ways to describe a design is by using a legend. Legends provide a visual explanation of everything that's seen on a printed sheet. The difficult part about creating a legend is matching the size of the objects between model space and your layout. In this lesson, we'll learn a quick way to create legends using the Change Space tool. On my screen, I have a drawing of a proposed landscaped berm, and all of the plants that you see are being represented using blocks. Let's take a look at the layout that's been set up for this drawing. I have set up an 8.5 by 11 inch title block. If I double click in the viewport, you can see I'm displaying my geometry at a scale of 1 inch equals 3 feet. Let's double click to jump out. And at this point, I'm creating a legend to describe the various plantings. Now I've got one more plant to add, so I'm going to double click in the viewport again, and I will select one of these blocks. It looks like the block is called Blackberry Lily. So I'll press Escape, and then I'll double click to jump out. Now here's the typical problem we run into when creating a legend. I'm going to click Insert, and then I will select the Blackberry Lily block. I'll click OK, and then I'll click to place this on the layout. And as you can see, it's coming in at true size, which is much larger than what I need on the paper. I could insert this at a smaller scale, but that would involve doing some math, and I'd have to do it for every block that I use for the legend. Let's delete this. Instead, I'm going to simply pull one of the blocks through the viewport onto my layout. To do that, I'll double-click to get in the viewport. I will then launch my copy command, and I'll copy one of these symbols over to the side to use for my legend. I will then open the Modify panel and I'll launch the Change Space command. Change Space allows me to move objects back and forth through a viewport. I will then select my block and press Enter. And that's it. The block was moved onto the layout. It's now perfectly sized, and I can drag this over and use it for my legend. I'll grab the grip and I'll drag it right down here. As long as I'm at it, I'll launch the copy command, and I'll copy one of these text items down as well, and we'll label this. You know, Change Space also works great if you'd like to match a hatch scale used in Model Space. As an example, let's create a legend item that identifies this mulch. Once again, I'll double-click to jump in the viewport. I'll launch my copy command, and I will create a copy of this hatch pattern over to the side such that I can use it for my legend. Next, I'll launch the Change Space command. I'll select the hatch, and I'll press Enter. This moves the hatch through the viewport onto my layout. Now I'll launch the hatch command, and I'll click inside this rectangle to define my boundary, and then I'll immediately come up and click Match Properties, and I'll select the hatch pattern that I moved. Finally, I'll press Enter to accept the hatch, and I don't need this pattern anymore, so I'll select it and I'll press Delete to remove it from the drawing. And I'm left with a perfectly scaled representation of the hatch that I'm using in Model Space. The Change Space command just might become one of your favorite tools. It definitely takes the math out of legend creation, and it's the fastest way to move geometry back and forth between your layouts and Model Space.